welcome back. My voice. Hey guys, welcome back to a little cup of tea and catch up with us. We're going to do a little combination of how have we been, what's been going on, and also we did put up a little question box, and there was one in particular that we wanted to kind of talk about a bit more in depth because we both resonate with it a lot. So yeah, come catch up with us.
Why do I feel so awkward this time? I feel really shy.
It's because you're a whole new version of yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know what to say now.
I don't. I feel really shy. It's so random for me.
It is random because normally you're like...
Normally I'm like, guess what? Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Well, where do we begin? So last time we did a video was like 3 months ago.
It was 3 months ago and we briefly watched it again, didn't we? And like, it feels, we laugh every time because every time we do a video and then we watch it back a few months after, we're like, I'm not even like that anymore, or like, why did I say that? Or like, not even that we've said anything wrong or bad, it's just we're forever evolving.
Yeah, 100%. And then you look at yourself and you're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, we're just always like changing and stepping into like different versions of ourselves, and it's nice to see, like, it's nice to look back and be like, where was we a year ago? Because
for sure,
this time last year,
I can't even remember where we were.
When I drove to you a few times in January, like, we had so much it was like we was okay, but we had stuff still going on.
I just feel like
us for sure.
The way we show up in situations now, like we'll look back at this in a year's time and be like, oh my god, we just show up in such a different way.
Oh, we're babies. Because like when we looked back at our other videos, we're like, we look so young.
Yeah.
Like,
it is
nice to see like how we've come on.
For sure, 100%. So, do you want to talk a little about what's been going on with you? Or we could start with the question. Should we start with the question? Yeah, we'll do that. Let me just get comfy.
So the question was like, how do you you word it? Because I can't remember.
The question was basically about when you've been in a toxic relationship and you're then kind of in the dating scene and and you find someone who, you know, is healthy. How do you handle that, and how do you learn to like receive that?
How do you let that in? Which is super interesting. Because I feel like we've both experienced both sides.
100%. Like I have definitely been in unhealthy relationships.
I mean, we both have. I feel like we speak about that, don't we, quite a lot. We're quite open with you all about that anyway.
So that's the question. We'll just kind of give advice, I guess, on what we've done personally.
So like, what do you think is what did you do after your toxic relationship?
Massively, like, just went on my own journey.
Do you know what though? So I feel like we've both done that, and I feel like that's so helpful to set you up for a relationship. But even when you come into a new relationship with somebody, even if it's not a full relationship and you're just dating or whatever, getting to know them, if they are healthy, you're still gonna get so triggered.
I think for sure. I think whenever you enter something new with someone, like, you're gonna get triggered because you're two humans just like trying to work each other out, and you've both got your own perceptions of the world and your own like beliefs and experiences that are gonna affect that.
And you are going to kind of go back into a bit of like fight and flight, in a sense of, is this normal?
Do they like really struggled.
Like, is this okay? Like, is this what normal people do?
I think I really struggled at the start, like, dating people and stuff, because I'd only been in unhealthy relationships, but like that was a lot of what I knew. And then it's just really strange to be like, I felt very much like vigilant of people, and I think I probably still am to some extent. Like, is this person healthy?
Like hyper observant.
Yes, 100%. I'd be super observant of like their behaviours because as like a protection thing, and like that's something I've really noticed in myself. And I think it used to be a lot worse, and I think the main thing that I've done to help with that is like reminding yourself like you've got yourself no matter what, like having that trust in yourself that even if you know you do realise they don't show up the healthiest, like you know now that you'll walk away because you have that level of like self-love to be like, do you know what, this actually isn't serving me. Like I think both of us have walked away from multiple different situations over the past few years where we've just been like, actually I know I deserve more,
especially the last 6 months.
Like
for you, for me, the last 6 months have been quite crucial for that. Like we've practiced everything that we've learned.
For sure. I think we've both had like at least one experience where we've met someone where we've felt like it was really aligned and like it's been a lot healthier, and then that's almost been like like made us be like, okay, like I really want to show up differently in this situation.
Because obviously we spoke about that on our last video when you went on holiday and you met that guy and how nice and like beautiful that connection was.
For sure. And you have also
and I have actually recently had like a similar experience, so even though it didn't work out, and like I did experience like sadness and stuff with that, and I did get triggered throughout because naturally I have had like anxious attachments in the past. We're both like similar, so I had to like, I also really wanted to show up differently, and like I definitely feel like it unlocked a different version of myself.
100%.
I feel like
it's so funny that we go through things like a lot of the time we do go through similar things at the same time.
We do, or like we'll do it a few months apart.
Like even with this thing, I'm like literally 6 months apart. I feel like we had super similar experiences. Like yours was a bit, I mean obviously mine was like a holiday thing, so less, you know,
like just not as easy to like continue.
Exactly. So like there's almost that underlying thing of like, is this even going to be a thing?
Because you live abroad.
Whereas yours was a lot more like, you know, this could actually be a thing.
Closer to home,
but it's just so interesting that we both had those experiences, and I do feel like after you've experienced that, you're just like, wow, the level of like love and like my expectations are like through the roof now.
I feel like anyway, so I think all of since I've been single, a lot of my experiences haven't been that deep. People haven't, like I've attracted a lot of emotionally unavailable people, which obviously helped me reflect on how I'm showing up unavailable emotionally to people, and obviously I've been on my own like journey with that. But I think then to cut everyone like that off and be like, I don't want this, and really stand in that, and then meet somebody, you do kind of think, do you know what I mean?
Is this it?
You think, wow, like you exist. Because you do think, because even though like I will preach and be like, it does exist, I know it exists, and like you always say to me, it does exist because you exist, and blah blah blah, and like all of that is so helpful. But then when you come into like face to face with it, you're like, it does, and it's so magical and like beautiful.
It may
to encounter.
And
you want to keep it because you're like, well.
But then it's also standing in like your own worth to be like, well, if this isn't going to be, even though this is something that is so close to what I want,
but if it's not it, that's also okay, and
being able to let
it's also okay to let it go. And because I think we are so good at that now, like coming back to ourselves and be like
100%. I used to get so lost in people,
but I feel like we don't do that anymore.
No.
And we help each other so much with that like reminder.
I think just in general we ground each other so much.
Honestly,
we also say things to each other that are sometimes like difficult things to say. Like I do feel like,
but we say it with love. Like we're 100%. Not mean. We're never mean.
No, but sometimes we say things where like
it's quite
the
blunt.
person receiving it is like, oh, that's so uncomfortable to hear, but I know you're right.
Okay.
You're like, but I just really wanted to go along with this, and you're kind of fucking up my plan.
I'm sorry, but you're self-sabotaging again, and we're not doing that. it's so interesting. But like, for example, I definitely got triggered and like definitely felt anxious still in moments, but not as much. And I think when you know who you are so much and you know what you're like, and it does help that I have like you. Do you know what I mean? Because
100%.
you really love and see me like who I am.
Yeah.
Instead of like what I've done when I was 20 or, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like soul level.
So it's really helpful to have somebody who is also grounded in your corner to remind you that you are worth like somebody to love you and accept you, and it will come along. So
100%.
Yeah, I'm super lucky, obviously, and grateful, but but it is helpful. But if you don't have that, you do have to give yourself that. Like you will slip into, am I worthy? Am I enough?
But that's
at the
just
end of the day,
human.
you're human, but you are like you are, and it does exist, and it is out there, and people come when you stand in that like power.
Yeah, 100%. Back to the original question. So what do you do when you are faced with like healthy love, basically after a toxic relationship? So I would definitely say, recognizing when you're getting triggered and like taking the time and space for yourself to work through it, rather than just immediately showing up the way that you would in the past. Because there was, there's times when both of us were like triggered and we would like talk about it together or like journal about it, and then you can kind of come to the realization that like, okay, actually the facts of this situation are maybe that, I don't know what, they haven't asked me out on another date or something, and that is not necessarily like, you're almost putting your beliefs onto what that means, and that could mean absolutely nothing. They could be busy with work or something else, and this is quite specific to like anxious attachment really, but
it depends what your attachment style is. I think getting to understand that is
really
important as well.
Because
if you're avoidant, because I feel like I have been quite avoidant as well.
I definitely feel like I'm more in avoidance at the minute than I have been.
I feel like we both are a bit, but apparently I watched a thing the other day and it did say that anxious attachments can actually be a bit avoidant as well. So like I would, if I sometimes, for example, in the past, if I noticed something, I'll just be like, nope, see ya, and that's me being quite avoidant, but also maybe being quite strong in my boundaries, I'm not sure. but
there is a fine line with all of this stuff, and it's working out what feels right for you and not putting so much pressure on yourself. Like I definitely think there's so much pressure to feel like I've got to cut this thing off straight away, or like, blah blah blah, and sometimes you need to just have like a few of those times, where maybe you are like going against your boundaries a bit, but sometimes you need those experiences to be able to
understand fully
things.
and understand fully what you really do want and need. I think the thing is, even when you are like ending something with someone, this is not even to do with this, but I'm just going off on it, but if you still have like an inkling to go speak to them or see them again, it's really helpful to also do that. And to just finish it fully. Like you've got to be honest and truthful with yourself and your feelings. Even if your friends are like, you shouldn't do that. Do you know what I mean?
I do think
you should do it.
You shouldn't always listen to your friends, which is probably so like contradictory to say. But
I never listen to Lily.
Joking. It's really painful. I'm joking. But I genuinely do. I agree. I think you've got to follow your own kind of like instincts, and even if that means you getting hurt time and time again, like that's fine. You clearly like at a soul level you need to have those experiences, and that's absolutely fine. Like, I think don't beat yourself up for it.
Once you learn that it's a soul level lesson and not just you being stupid, then you will be easier on yourself.
Yes, definitely got to be more compassionate with yourself, because the more you add like judgment to it, the more it becomes a thing, and like harder, just 100%.
It's already hard. Like it's hard anyway. Especially when you've experienced like toxicity in the past, it is hard to get out of that cycle. Most of my relationships from being 20 plus, when you're like a teenager having a relationship, it's quite hard to compare to like an adult relationship.
It's just very different, isn't it?
Because you're just young. So yes, from like my adult relationships have all been quite turbulent, and so I would say I've never experienced true genuine love apart from platonically. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously with friends and
yeah, I get that,
and things like romantically. I feel like I've always been quite a wounded person going into it, so you can never really have healthy.
Yeah, I like definitely that. Used to be like, somebody love me, please.
Yeah.
Like I was used to kind of like have a hole and it needed to be filled. Whereas now, like I've been single for like 2 years, which is
I've been single for 3 years this year.
That's crazy. Honestly, I used to be single for like, in fact, when
6
me and
months.
my ex broke up, no, not even that.
You'll do.
Literally, like immediately after, I would have someone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily like being in a relationship, but I would have something.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like obviously we're super into looking into that, delving into it, but obviously not everyone is, and that's fine.
But yeah, so when you're triggered, sit with yourself.
Sit in it, like feel
discomfort and like cry if you need to cry, like just, and also trying to like remember to focus on yourself, like pour into yourself
and remember who
the things that you enjoy. And don't like almost go all in. Do you know what I mean? Like do in terms of feelings, but don't in terms of your actions, I think almost.
Yeah, like don't act impulsively on emotions.
Just make sure that you're still spending time. It's so, when you are falling for someone, I think it's so, those hormones, you're just like, I want to be with this person 24/7.
It's the dopamine
and
as
it's just trying to be like, I really enjoy spending time with this person and I'm going to spend that time with them. But I'm also going to make sure that I spend, you know, this period of my time going to the gym or like doing hobbies that I really enjoy, or like watching my TV show, like whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Just so that you don't lose yourself in the relationship.
Yeah, it's really important that you still keep yourself, like, basically just what Lily said. I don't really know what I was going to say. But it is important to keep yourself grounded. As like a priority as well.
100%.
Because we can almost become just like one person.
I think you can, you can.
And it can happen really fast, especially as you get older, because you're more like quick to know what you want and need.
Yeah.
100%. So I think, just a lot of grounding with yourself. Talk to yourself a lot, journal. If you have good advice friends who are quite emotionally intelligent, it's also good just to air how you're feeling to them.
And also, I think, like, a healthy love doesn't feel like, it doesn't have the ups and downs.
It's not as intense as well, so like if they're not bombarding you with messages, presents, you know, loads of words of affirmation, it doesn't mean that they don't like you. It's actually the opposite sometimes.
Yeah, and almost focusing on like what are the actions that they're doing, like how are they actually showing up, because I think people can say words.
And like when you're around them, how is your nervous system feeling?
How do you feel?
Like if you're feeling quite tired, relaxed, sleepy, that's a really positive thing. That was me all the time. Remember, I was texting you and I was like, I'm so tired. But your nervous system learns to regulate around people.
Yeah.
Also, another thing someone mentioned to me was, how does he feel about the person I was dating? How does he feel about you not drinking?
Okay.
And I was like, that's an interesting question, because I obviously don't get drunk. I haven't got drunk now. I mean, I do sometimes now.
You have a drink here and there, but
last year I definitely started to have a drink, but I don't get like drunk. So then it did kind of make me think. I wonder if some people do find that. No one I've dated has thought that's an issue, but I wonder if people do think, oh my god, how is she going to have fun? Do you know what I mean?
But I think then that's just incompatibility, like between two people.
But that wasn't a problem, by the way.
No.
He was very similar. So,
but I just think
there is people who will have.
There's some people will be on your wavelength and some people won't, and people who judge, only having drinks here and there and like not getting drunk.
Yeah.
It
did just make me like wonder, like, I wonder what people actually think about that. Do you know what I mean?
I've barely drunk since I was like young, so I think I've just, like, even at uni I used to do it and people had opinions and I'd just be like, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
But my point is, you don't need to change for anyone. Like
not.
The version of yourself now, somebody will match.
Someone will be
that and
totally
respect
obsessed,
it and still love you for who you are. You don't need to even if they are a drinker or whatever, you don't need to change who you are. Like, stay with who you are, stay true to yourself.
And stay true to what's healthy and happy
and
for you.
what feels right for you, yeah. And that's fine.
100%. I'm not sure if I can think of anything else specifically.
To add, I do just think it's important to love yourself, get to know yourself, do things for yourself.
And just be compassionate with yourself. Like, if you're feeling really triggered and overwhelmed, and talk to the person about it.
Yeah.
Like, tell them your experiences. I know it's really scary, but just
I wouldn't straight away.
Not like, you know, you don't need to be on a first date, but I mean, like, as you're dating them, and if things are coming up that you're feeling getting triggered, then you can explain, you know, like, that triggers me because of this or whatever. Like, I'm working on it myself.
I just wanted to let you know it's not you.
So then they can, like, maybe do things to help support
Communication is big. It's a big deal, and I think we
because then they can understand, and they can understand, like, maybe if you react badly to something, and they'd be like, what, like, I haven't done anything.
And if they don't understand, like, that's fine, but also if they're not going to have the emotional intelligence to also hold space for you, they're not right for you anyway. No matter how much we want someone, sometimes if it's not right, it's not right.
I agree.
And you want someone who's emotionally intelligent. I think that's number one on the checklist.
Yeah, especially when you've got all, for sure.
Because we've all got our shit, and you need to be able to communicate it.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to feel safe, like, to express yourself.
Yeah. And remembering, like, no one's perfect. Like, you might feel like, oh, I'm this really, like, fucked up person. I've got all of these issues from the past. And, like, this boy's perfect or this girl's perfect. But actually, they are a human too, and they will have their own things, and maybe you just haven't uncovered them yet. Like,
and they will have their own fear, and
of course,
you know, fear of being rejected or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the thing is, it's up to them to communicate their stuff, and it's up to you to do yours. So even if you feel like you're being too much, or like you're not too much for the right person.
100%.
Someone did say that to me. Do you remember? They said, don't be too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And you was like, I'm not going to take advice from you. Literally no emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence with a teaspoon. Yeah, I think I feel like there's loads.
Just don't doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, trust your instincts.
And just know.
You know when you're overreacting, in a sense of, you know when you're being triggered. You know when it's something to do with you and not the other person. And just trust that.
Yeah.
And just guide yourself through it.
And just know that whatever happens, even if it is unhealthy or it is healthy, like, you'll manage and you'll learn and you'll grow, and that's, like, what we're all here for. So.
Yeah. I feel like we've covered it, I think.
Definitely. I feel like we've been talking for a while, so should we just do little, like,
updates? So you're obviously doing your women's circle. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm super excited. So we obviously did, like, a couple of online events together last year.
Yeah, we did.
And I've always felt really pulled to do in person, because I just feel like the energy of meeting people and being, like, together in a space is just a whole different experience. And I've been to, like, many women's circles over the years, but like, and also I went on a retreat last year, and I was at the retreat and I was just thinking, I could do this, and I would love to do this. And I just thought, where else to start than, like, you know, a women's circle. So I thought Valentine's weekend is the perfect time, especially to do with, like, self-love, if anyone's single. Even if you're not single.
It can be a hard time, like, if you are single.
There's so much around of, like, roses and, like,
just
cards
and romance. And it's nice to see, but sometimes it is a bit like,
as a single girly, 100%. So I just thought, let's do a women's circle.
Did we do a workshop last year?
Yeah, we
around
did.
Valentine's.
Yes, and then the one before was I feel like it was about, like, your inner, or was it boundaries? I can't remember.
I can't remember now. We did a couple last year, beginning of last year.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, I really, really wanted to do it, and it's basically just going to be an hour and a half of, like, pouring into yourself, and, like, all of the, like, meditation, journaling, connecting with, like, the version of you who just loves herself.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
I'm so excited.
If you are in London Valentine's weekend, you need to check it
out. But yeah,
it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
It's nice. It's nice to
I know, I'm super excited to just, like, it's one, like, the first of many, you know, I'm absolutely buzzing. And I definitely will be doing a retreat at some point as well.
Exciting.
I know. Yeah. Very exciting. I don't know what else is new with me apart from that. In the past 3 months.
You know, you've just been so busy with, like, work, gross. But, she barely has time for me these days, guys. I'm joking. I don't really know what's new. I feel like we've shared a lot. I feel like we've been through many deaths and rebirths over the last 2 months.
I agree. I just feel like we are great versions of ourselves. Like the way, like just life now. Obviously, it's not like simple all the time. But
oh my gosh, it's not.
I just feel like I have so much more like power to
decide,
just
choose,
go with it. You know, like
you are so good at going with it now.
Yeah.
And you know what? We all know that I'm a big crier. But that is my main release. But I said to you, didn't I, like yesterday, like I'll cry and I'll be sad for like a week. But then I'm just like,
moving on. Next lesson, let's go.
Hit me, joking. Universe, chill out. I've had enough. Please just send the love of my life.
Oh, I know what else is new. I've been doing like an energy reading course.
Oh yeah.
I think we're on like week 7 or 8 now. But that's been wild.
You've been really delving into spirituality, like
sure,
on
like
a
spirit guides and stuff.
Whereas I've been quite in.
You've been on that journey for a little bit, yeah.
A long time now. I maybe like 7 years.
Yeah.
That side of things with like spirit guides, speaking to the dead. Well,
I haven't spoken to the dead, but I am doing energy readings. So like I've done a few energy readings for people, and I'm going to continue to.
And you've had really good like feedback.
I've had feedback being like, it's literally like you're in my brain.
But I do feel like we do that quite naturally.
Agree.
So like if we go anywhere, we'll do that today when we're at the spa. We quite easily look at people and are like, blah, blah, blah.
You can just feel things. I don't know how to explain it. I also hear, like, I've really realised that hearing is actually quite a big feeling is one, but also I just, like, hear things in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
We get regular, like, little downloads to each other. Even, like, when we're talking to each other, we'll be like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it came from something else. We, like, channel our
messages to each other. Like, when one of us is going through an issue, like, something comes, like, it just comes into my body, what's coming out. And I'm thinking, this sounds great.
We are so wise. And we're like, God, we're so wise. But actually, I do think...
Do you know what, actually, something I want to talk about that's just come to my head is I went on a few dates at the end of last year, and someone basically said to me like about like confidence. They were like, what did they say now? But they were basically just like, oh, you like love yourself, or like, oh, you're big-headed. That's what they said to me. And I was literally just like,
so it was about they'd compliment you and you'd be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Or, I know, thanks.
I would say I know, yeah, thank you.
You'd say I know. And the thing is, when people compliment you, you're meant to receive that.
I know, like I've never thought,
like people are saying,
I've never complimented someone and been like, oh God, they actually agreed with me. What?
They think that too.
Like you say a compliment because you're like it just comes up. You just want to say that thing. You're like, oh my God, I really love your hair or whatever it is.
It will just roll out of my mouth.
Sure.
Like I will do it. Like if there's anything I like about you. I mean, I don't look at everyone and I'm like, wow. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, if you're in my vicinity, and I'm like, oh, I like your trainers.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I just think the reason I brought it up is because it kind of made me be like, oh,
Emma.
Yeah, like it just made me feel uncomfortable, and like obviously we've spoken about it and stuff. And reflecting on it, it's just like that is more a reflection of them and like how they feel about themselves. And I literally turned around to him and I said, what would you rather? I said, I hate myself. And like, I can't remember what the other thing.
I do think though, a lot of people do prefer it if you're insecure.
Well, you're easier to,
manipulate.
I wasn't going to say that. But also like, if you don't feel strongly about like yourself
they don't have
and
to
your
show
standards.
Up a certain way, do they?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
So yeah. So it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Screw them.
I just randomly wanted to say that because it was just the thought of like self-love. It's just interesting, like
don't allow people to think that you're being big-headed.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like you're on this growth journey and people will say stuff that's like, oh, but that's society's problem of like,
absolutely,
oh, you know, we don't want people to be in their power, we don't want people to love themselves, but only good things come from loving yourself. Like your relationships get better,
you're just more solid,
everything,
you know, people
is better, you can handle life better,
stronger. Yeah, you feel stronger like when you love yourself. Someone
100%.
could say you're ugly, I don't know, I'm just trying to think. No one says that, but I mean, they might do.
No one says that,
but no, I didn't mean it like
no, I
mean like, I just don't know anyone who would be like, you're ugly.
No, yeah.
That's
no
what
one
I mean.
would do that.
So that's awful.
That's bullying.
But anyway, we don't accept bullying. But what I mean is, you're just a bit more like, okay,
yeah,
because you're like,
it
well, I'm
slides off
not.
of you.
But
There is that thing that is like, if you don't believe something, then like it doesn't affect you.
yeah, like what you tell yourself is so much more powerful. So, make sure you're telling yourself nice things, guys.
All the time.
And the thing is as well, like I've spoke about this before, you can get in your head like something's not nice about you. I don't know, your features, your arms, whatever, I don't know. But actually that's just something you're telling yourself. That's not the truth, that's not reality.
And other people
And
don't
when
see it.
They don't.
Literally
So
no
when
one else is going to look at
You
it.
stop talking about it and you stop telling yourself that, and actually you give love to that part of yourself, it goes away, basically.
100%.
Then if someone walked up to you and said, oh, you've got ugly arms. I mean, who says that? Do you know what I mean?
One, yeah.
But
and if they do, then they're insecure
That's
themselves, and who
crazy.
cares about their opinion? Because quite clearly they're a mean person. So I feel very passionate
very
about this.
serious about it.
Anyway, what's new with you? What do you want to tell us?
I don't really feel like anything's new with me.
Nothing's new. She's just the same. She's a whole different
don't-
version of herself. but-
I don't feel like I'm the same. I don't know. What do you think about me?
I think over the past
Oh,
like 6
here we
months to a year, like I know we've already spoken about relationships, but the change in like your self-worth and like just what you know you deserve is just entirely different.
Yeah.
Like you have massively stepped into like, I know what I deserve, and like if this isn't it, then just choosing yourself, really.
Yeah.
Like you in a whole nother way, like it's like a complete flip, you know.
Yeah, and I do think that's been cemented since like December, beginning of December.
Yeah.
I feel like I went on a big spiritual journey like in December when we were together, like an awakening, shall we say. And I guess it just put everything into perspective as to what I was like, the behaviours I was doing. I think as well, like a lot of our encounters we take really personal, but actually sometimes people just need to experience you in order for their lesson and their soul path, and that's okay. But I was definitely giving myself to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Because as well, like I think that goes back to when you're single, you're craving like love.
We all there's times when all
it's
like
easy to slip into
I'll
the
accept
wrong
this.
hands. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, not anymore, husband. I'm ready. Jokes. Not joking. Not joking. Where are you?
Comment below.
Comment below if you watch this video and you want to wife me. I'm ready.
Okay.
No, we have nothing else to say. We're going to the spa today.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the spa. We're gonna go get a curry later.
She's gonna have a proper Yorkshire curry, guys. Like, just imagine how mind blown she's gonna be. She's in the curry capital right now.
I know. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna update you all later.
I'm gonna get the poppadoms.
I'm gonna update you all later
Naan
with her
bread.
experience.
Yeah.
So, follow my stories on Instagram for that. Because you will want to see. But we're just so happy to be together.
Yeah, we really are. It's honestly like literally the best thing ever.
Literally, like, all we want to do is normal things together all the time. There's been so many times this month where we're like, I just wish that you could come over and make tea for me. Because we do We look after each other so much.
We look after each other so much when we're together. It's really
it's like
cute.
if we're going through anything, it's so hard to not just be able to be like there.
Yeah, I know. You just want to be, and even just be able to give you a cuddle. Like if one of us rings.
Oh, you're watching me cry.
I was gonna say like if one of us rings up crying, but to be honest, it's normally you. But yeah, like just being able to
you hold it in.
We
had this conversation, and then she actually holds
like...
in her pain, and then she'll just like have a big breakdown, whereas I'll just cry over.
Yeah,
like,
you'll just cry over
all the things. I'm like,
I think that's great. I actually I endeavour to be more like you.
We learn a lot from each other.
We do. We are 100% like soul contract.
We are.
Vibes.
We was put in each other's life at the right time.
110%.
If you think about our like not just our journey with ourselves, but like spiritually.
Yeah.
How we have like come on.
Yeah.
And like how in tune we are with each other. We honestly, guys, we'll text each other the same words all the time.
Yeah,
then we'll just like ha ha ha. I think I actually put it up on my story the other week. We like said the same things and then we said ha ha at the same time. It was mental. But yeah, we've definitely spent lifetimes together.
100%. I've said 100% so many times.
110%.
It's because everything she says, I'm like, yes. I agree.
Oh, guys, honestly, the best thing about me being single and choosing myself that has happened so far in my life is I've made space for you, because I would have never experienced it if I didn't do that. So even though it's scary and it's hard, but once you do it, things do come in. You know, it's worth it, guys. Yeah, it's worth it.
Thank you so much for coming and catching up with us.
Watching us blab again. I feel like I came out of my shell again.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was so shy.
Yeah, at the start of this video you were literally like...
I do feel...
There's a camera there.
I do feel like I am a bit shyer now. Well, no, naturally I am actually quite shy.
Yeah, unless you're with people that you're like super duper.
Yeah, I'm a super introvert, extrovert if I'm super
introverted, extrovert or whatever it's called.
So I do feel quite shy most of the time.
Yeah, unless you're with me.
So yeah, so maybe this is what you're going to see all the time. I'm going to be quiet and shy and in my shell.
Yeah, just thank you so much, guys. Like everyone who tunes in and watches our videos and our content, we massively appreciate.
And like, you know, lets us know like what you want to hear, and
yeah,
we do really appreciate it. And if we didn't answer your question, please do send them next time.
Yeah. We're always, our DMs are always open anyway. Like,
and if there is anything in particular you do want us to like speak about,
yeah,
just tell us and then we can
do it next time.
And if you enjoyed the video, you can comment and let us know.
Like below.
Anything. And also, last time I did send one of our subscribers a present.
Yeah.
So if you subscribe, and yeah,
you might receive a little something in the post.
You might not, but you know. Okay, guys.
Bye.